Focusing on organization is like the only thing that actually keeps me sane. Why am I getting so many emails? And if you are someone who doesn't have to pay their bills, consider yourself blessed and know that I do not relate to you. Hello friends, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, hello, I am Korra. I am the founder of 3 different niche content websites, including KorraShay.com, which is where the article that we're talking about today comes from. It is a self-improvement website focused all about how you can create your best life. And I've been bringing a lot of that content to YouTube. We're able to like chat a little bit more, even have a more casual conversation. And I hope you guys are enjoying this content too. But today, with the new month right around the corner, I wanted to share my monthly checklist for being organized. I feel that way too much effort is put into organizing your life annually, but the reality of it is that your monthly tasks actually make the difference. And if you're not following a checklist or have any kind of monthly organization routine, then this video is for you. Or even if you do and you just want to expand on it, you want to improve it, we're going to break this down into 5 key categories for your checklist. First is personal organization, and then we're gonna talk about financial organization, and then health and wellness, followed by home management, and lastly, personal development, which yes, should be included in your monthly routine. All right, we are going to be starting in the personal organization category. And number 1 for your checklist is to review your monthly goals. Side note, if you are not currently setting monthly goals, get on it. Again, we can't just set annual goals. We can't just set 5, 10-year term, long-term future goals. We need to be setting weekly and monthly goals. Today, we're gonna be focusing on the monthly ones, okay? And not only do you need to set the goals at the beginning of the month, you also need to be reviewing the previous month's goals and seeing what you accomplished, what you didn't accomplish, what changes you could have made to make those goals happen. See if you need to be pushing yourself harder because you're hitting 100% of your goals, if you need to be evaluating things because you're not hitting nearly enough of them. Checking on your goals is the part that I do believe gets forgotten about the most, and it is an essential part. Like setting the goals, inspiring yourself, motivating, making a plan, you gotta do that. But you also need to check back in on those goals. You need to check at the end of the time frame that you set them, as well as throughout. And also monthly goals have a lot of power to be a tool to help you achieve those longer term goals as well. We could talk about goals all day long, so let's get into the next checklist task, and that is updating your calendar. Whether you are somebody with a physical planner, a digital calendar, you know, a family calendar on the wall, whatever it may be, you need, when you're organizing your months at the start of the month, to go through and add everything important. You need to put the due dates, you need to put any events, any appointments, everything. Just get it up there, clear that off. The next task is planning your weekly schedules. Break your months down into manageable weekly plans. This helps you prioritize your tasks, and it helps you feel a little bit less overwhelmed when you're looking at the whole month picture by breaking them down into weeks. It also makes it easier to make your daily and weekly to-do lists. All right, next on personal organization, you need to do a little bit of decluttering of your living spaces. When I say living spaces, that is any space that you spend a significant amount of time in. That could include your workspace. For those of us who work remote, that definitely includes your workspace. But doing a little bit of decluttering, getting just a little bit less stuff, you know, remove packaging from your home, get rid of papers that you don't need anymore. Do a little declutter and let your life feel just a little bit lighter. Being organized is a lot easier when you have less stuff to take care of. I also recommend every month going through and doing a quick digital organization, clearing through recent downloads on your computer, deleting anything like that, going through your recent photos, deleting irrelevant things specifically. At least if you're anything like me, like I always screenshot things to remember things. And once that's no longer relevant, it takes up a lot of not only like storage space, but it also clutters things. So taking like 10-15 minutes to do a little digital cleanup every month is going to make you feel more organized. That being said, the next task is very correlated and it's a quick one. Do a backup. Make sure your iCloud is synced. Make sure that your computer, whatever, everything is backed up, because we live in a digital age, y'all, and we need to make sure that we're taking precautions. Next, okay, we're still talking about a little bit of digital organization in the next task, and that is, let's get to email box 0. Clear your emails, make sure that your inbox has nothing that's waiting on to be read. I'm not saying you have to respond to everything, but just starting your month with knowing exactly where you're sitting on emails. For me, guys, you just take my word on it, it's pretty life-changing. Next up on your personal organization, you're going to be reevaluating your routines. Look at what routines you did last month, how they worked, what was your evening routine actually productive, were you actually reading, did you actually get up in time for your morning routines? Think about different tweaks that you might need to make the routines better. Again, don't wait until the end of the year to reevaluate your routines. Do it every month. The next one is like easy, but it's also the one I dread the most, and that is setting up appointments. Make the calls, whichever one I know you're putting off right now. Call them, do it today. Now we're going into financial organization. So next up on your checklist then is going to be paying the bills. If you don't have things on auto pay, then you need to go and pay your bills. I do say if you are able to, auto pay is all of our best friend, right? Like it's nice, but also you don't tend to keep as good of an eye on things when you have things on auto pay. So there's cons as well. So, you know, take that with a grain of salt. I'm not a financial accountant. I love to talk about organizing and being efficient and intelligent and spending consciously, but I am not like a financial advice accountant. Next task is tracking your expenses. I think this is one of the biggest things that causes us to feel like we don't know where our money is going. And obviously, like, there's a lot of things in our society, yada, yada, but not knowing exactly where your money is going is going to be making it basically impossible to save more money and manage your money better. So every single month, go back through, look at last month's budget, and look through every single credit card charge, debit card. Make sure you look on if you have an Amazon card, things like that, and have a full detailed look at where your money is going and how you spent it last month to help you ensure that you're making even better financial decisions this coming month. That being said, the next task is very similar. Create a review of your budget. If you do not already have a monthly budget, it's time to make one, all right? Being an adult sucks, but we need a budget. And if you already have your budget, awesome, proud of you. It's time to review it. Review how you spent last month. We just went over that. You already know your expenses, but look over it as well as looking over changes that you need to make for the next coming month's budget, whether that be things externally or because of how you spent last month. I also recommend once a month going through and checking, this is the next task, and that is your subscriptions. Subscriptions add up so quickly. So taking like 2 minutes to check your credit card statements and making sure that there's not subscriptions that you need to be canceling is something that needs to be done ideally monthly, but like at least quarterly. Next financial task, make sure you update your financial goals. Any additional progress that you have made on saving, building emergency funds, investing, whatever it may be, update those goals. The next task is a quick one, but I really, really recommend doing it, and checking your credit score. Most of us have a banking institution or a credit card company that we work through that will give you your like FICO credit score for free. Check that every month, because that is the quickest way you're gonna see misuse of your credit score. Lastly, check on investments. Look at progress, as long as it's not gonna depress you too much in 2025. All right, the next category for our monthly checklist is health and wellness. It's a little bit more fun than talking about money, let's be real. Okay, first up is meal planning. I think it is so helpful to make not only weekly meal plans, but a vague idea of your month. When you're looking through and you're seeing how many like dinners you already have out of the house, or you have events attend those days, that helps you get a better idea of how you're gonna like structure your meal planning. Also, it is easier, I think, when you kind of get into flows when you're cooking at home, and doing monthly meal planning is very helpful with that. Again, I don't do like what I'm gonna eat every single day, but I like an idea of what meals we're gonna be cooking in the month, and then I make weekly, more detailed meal plans. Next, schedule your workouts. You need to be blocking time in your calendar. You need to schedule, if you take exercise classes, schedule as many as you can, as far in advance as you can. Forcing yourself to already have those booked is how you're gonna go. Next, we're going to be making sure every month that we're focusing on our sleep habits. No one wants to talk about this because it's not fun, but let's be honest, most of us do not have good enough sleep habits, and taking a little bit of time every month to evaluate how we slept last month and how we can improve our sleep, whether that's quality of sleep or amount of time that we're sleeping, and seeing if there's absolutely anything that you can do. Next, prescriptions, get them refilled, check on statuses, do whatever is needed with those. And the last in the health and wellness category is a self-care day. I am a strong believer that at least once a month you need to have a chunk of a day committed to self-care. And I'm gonna be realistic, guys. Like, I'm not saying a full day, because how many of us can really commit an entire day to taking care of ourselves And maybe you can, in which case I adore you and I think you should take advantage of that, okay? But committing at least a few hours in advance by scheduling them is going to help ensure that you are getting at least a little bit of self-care in every single month. We got 2 more categories left, guys, on our monthly checklist, and the next is home management. First of this is deep cleaning. At the beginning of the month, I highly, highly recommend, and I do this and I swear by this, it's less relevant since I'm currently in an apartment, but when we were in a 3,500 square foot house, this was very essential, okay? I would take 1 to 2 areas at the start of every month to commit to deep cleaning them. Whether that's a room or like, you know, it really depends. Like a guest room doesn't take me that long to deep clean. It doesn't get a lot of use, it doesn't get a lot of dust collection, whatever. But like our pantry, especially in our last place, it was large and we actually had a second pantry and it was a whole thing. That was a whole, like that was many hours of deep cleaning. So I'm not gonna say like rooms, I'm gonna say areas. You classify those as is relevant to your life. Next is you gotta do some maintenance tasks. This is especially relevant if you are a homeowner, but honestly a lot of this you still gotta deal with when you're renting as well. Check on your smoke detector, batteries, air filters, and anything else that is going to provide your specific home with maintenance that will avoid bigger problems in the long run. In our last place, we had a lot of issues with the gutters. There was leaves over them. It was a whole thing. So once a month we would go through and check, not only clear out the gutters, but we'd also check the water flow. That was like specific to that property. So there's gonna be specific things to your house too, I'm sure of it. But try to think about what you could do every month to not only make your house safer to live in, but also to help avoid those long-term bigger issues, which also tend to be the really freaking expensive situations. Next is reviewing your grocery inventory or food inventory, however you want to word that. I am just as guilty as so many others of allowing the food at the bottom of the freezer in the back of the pantry to not get used and not get eaten and kind of forgotten about until they eventually go bad. When you do a monthly inventory of your pantry, fridge, and freezer, it helps avoid that from happening. You get a better idea of what you have. You don't let things go to expired nearly as often. You're pulling things out. It is so helpful for not only food waste, which is a big problem in our world, but also for our budgets. Groceries are expensive, guys. Breaking news at 10, Korra. Next, organizing any paperwork. This is like a little bit less relevant now than when I started doing monthly resets like 10 years ago, because we just get a lot less papers, or at least I do. Part of that is I was in college at that point. I'm no longer, and I do not have kids yet. So there's a chance that depending on what your life is like, that this could still be relevant to you. But dealing with the stack of papers right now, we just have one paper that I need to deal with. But dealing with the stack of papers that like sits at wherever your stuff collector is in your home, just deal with it. Deal with it monthly. Don't let it build up even more than that. We're helping each other out here, guys. Don't do that to yourself. All right, next, we are going to plan family or household events. That's the last on the home management. Family game nights, weekly outings, date nights, whatever it may be. Organizing your month is not just about logistics and budgeting and food and groceries. It's also about making sure that you are a happy, healthy person. And in order to be a happy, healthy person, you need to cultivate those moments and experiences with your loved ones. So when you are managing your home, remember that you have this home for you and your loved ones. Making sure that you are doing fun things with your family, making sure that you are dating your partner, making sure you're spending quality time with friends is going to be essential to actually having months that are worth putting all the rest of the effort into, you know? So take some time, plan some fun things. I am a big fan of looking at Facebook events, call me old, but I like to look through their events for things that are happening in the community and I feel like because on Instagram they tend to post them like on the stories when it's like time to get the tickets, but you don't plan as much in advance. Facebook events, take my word. All right, and now we gotta talk about the last category, personal development. We are only talking about 2 things in here, okay? Because we're generally talking, this is mainly focused on like actual logistical organizing. But again, like I was just saying, you cannot forget about all of the other parts that are key to having successful months. Review personal goals. This to me is things like skills, courses, anything that you're doing to improve and better yourself, not things such as financial goals or health or fitness goals. though of course like some of that can overlap, but we're making sure that you're taking the time to review all goals of all elements of your life every single month. And lastly, on my monthly checklist, and I hope you put it on yours, is to celebrate a small win. Look back at your month and pick a win from the month, and it can be itty bitty, okay? It doesn't have to be a huge thing. It can be tiny that you are going to celebrate, and it can be a tiny celebration as well. That's okay. That I think it is so important for like our souls to feel that celebration of an accomplishment regularly. We need to do that for ourselves. All right, guys, so that is the monthly checklist for being organized and setting yourself up for successful months that I recommend that you follow. Obviously, you're gonna have changes, you're gonna have additions, you're gonna have subtractions depending. Everyone's life is different, but really, I hope that this gave you some ideas for things to add to yours, and maybe just inspired you to start organizing your life monthly. Maybe we gave you some conversation here that motivated you to at least take a little bit of time to reset your month, your life every month, and focus on not just waiting until the next year to better yourself in your life, but doing it every single month. So that is all for now, guys. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it somewhat helpful, and thank you so much for watching to this point. It means the absolute world to me. If you did find this video helpful, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and then also subscribe. I post videos like this pretty frequently where we talk through my websites, as well as vlogs where I show the behind the scenes of the websites and how I put everything that I talk about in these videos to actual use in my life. So subscribe, follow along. Thank you guys so much, and I hope you are having a wonderful, fantastic day.